Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that's very kind of touchy as it pertains to marriage. So this video is for the wives or for the wives to be. My husband and I are in marriage ministry, and so we speak to a lot of couples, and when I speak to wives, a lot of the times, one of their concerns in their marriage, or one of their issues rather, is that their husbands aren't really fulfilling the role of the priest in the marriage. And I can count on probably 10 hands how many times I've heard that issue brought up in like a wives session, or women to women, kind of letting it all out. And so I've heard it enough to start thinking, okay, what are some ways that we can get our husbands to be the priest in the marriage? How do we get them to really walk in that role without making them feel like they're nothing because they aren't doing it? You know what I mean? So I decided to create this video and talk about what are some ways that we can get our husbands to be the priest of the marriage. I kind of learned, some people may think this is cheesy of me, but I like acronyms, and I like to play on words just to kind of help me to remember. It helps me to remember things when they're either in acronyms, or when each letter stands for something, or when you're using the same letter over and over and over again. So I try to create ways to help others understand by the use of wordplay. So to get someone to really do something, or to get someone motivated, right? What do they need? A pep talk. So think of the words pep talk as we go through different ways to get our husbands to be the priests of our marriage. Okay, now if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, okay? I just don't want to forget anything. Pep talk. How do you spell pep talk? P.E.P.T.A.L.K. First way, P, you pray for him, right? Like, let's be honest. We're all supposed to be doing things that we don't necessarily do, right? And everyone falls short. So I should be eating right all the time, or I should be working out. I should be meeting all of my deadlines, but I don't necessarily do that all the time, right? And so a lot of the things that we're supposed to be doing, a lot of the things that we should be doing, we need the help of the Holy Spirit. And so one way to help your husband to fulfill that role is to pray for him. Pray and ask God, right, to really work on his heart, to show him the need to really occupy that role and do it successfully. Pray for wisdom, pray for guidance, pray that he has vision for your marriage, pray that he steps out in boldness, right, and not slack, but that he really takes up that role seriously, and not only does it, but he sees the need for it. So pray that God will give him a heart for his marriage, a heart for his family. Wherever you may see a need that your husband is lacking, it is your duty to pray for him. Number 2, encourage him. Right? Many times it's not what we say, but it's how we say it. And I spoke about this in a previous video that I made that said, speak life into your man. And I'll put the link in the description box below if you haven't checked it out yet. It's not always what we say, it's how we say it. Sometimes our men just need a little encouragement. When you speak life into him, it gives him value, and it makes him want to do what you said or what you praised him for again and again and again, because that praise will pull out repeated behavior. He prays one day, wow, babe, that prayer really helped me. Or he initiates, or he calls the prayer meeting. Later on, you can be like, wow, thank you, babe, I really need, I feel like the family really needed that. It was a really great call that you made. I don't know, we all know how to woo our men. Like, we all know the right words to say that make them feel good. And I feel like if we encourage them more, then that's a way to really kind of propel them into that role of priest. Number 3, push him. Sis, I don't mean to really push the man, okay? Sometimes all they need is a little push, right? But you don't want to push him into something that hasn't been set up yet. So now your job is to set it up. Set it up for him so that there's a nice flow that he can just flow into. So what do I mean by setting it up? Maybe you schedule the prayer times. You schedule the topics. You schedule who's going to do what, and then you give him a role and say, okay, babe, we're gonna do our prayer night on every Monday night. Please prepare something for Monday. Or babe, the topic of discussion is going to be peace, so I'd like you to bring a word on peace for the family. So when you set it up for him, now you can just push him into something that's already been set up. He won't be blindsided, and he won't feel like it's all on him, right? We are the helpers, right? We're the helpmates. So we have to, do certain things in order to see a desired result. And after he does it, whether it was good or bad, praise him for it. So you go back, right? You go back to number 2 and you encourage him. The next letter is T. Talk to him. Listen, communication is everything. Okay, the way I said it is the way I mean it, all right? Communication is everything. We have to communicate about everything in our marriages, whether you like it or not. Whatever it is, it must be communicated. And so, once again, how you communicate is even more important. A lot of times when we're frustrated or we feel like, there's a need that's not being met, we want to come off as, right, as angry women, and they don't react well to that, right? So when there's a time that you guys are just sitting or just hanging out or even on a date, it's just a regular day and you guys are good, then you bring it up. You say, babe, I feel like our prayer life needs to really, be better, or we need to pray more. What do you suggest that we do? Now, this is how you allow him to take the lead. Now, if he backs down and says, babe, what do you think? They'll just say, you know what, babe, this is a team effort. I'd like us to come up with a plan together so that we can, hold each other accountable. And hopefully that will lead into some conversations that will help, set something up for your family. Now, if he begins to get irritated, or it becomes a heated conversation, let it go. Okay? You don't want that to turn. You don't want it to turn into something that it doesn't necessarily need to be. You just let it go at that time, give him a breather, and then bring it up another time. But you do want to eventually have that conversation so that you two can set something up that will give him an idea that, okay, my wife wants me to really operate in this role more consistently. The next one, assist him. The Bible tells us that we are the helpmate. The helpmate, the helper, the help. We help. That is our job. And wherever we see a need for help, we have to fulfill that position. So how do you help? You set up the schedule, like I said. You set reminders. Hey, send them a quick text. Say, hey, babe, don't forget we have our prayer nights on Mondays. So if you haven't, planned something yet, just giving you a reminder. Or you offer the suggested topic of devotion. You can also do it yourself to show him like how it should be done, because he may not really know how. You can also send video clips of others in action, not necessarily to criticize criticize him or to compare him, but to inspire him to look at other videos himself so that he can become more acquainted with how to operate in that role. Next letter, you love him. You love him through, sis. Even if he doesn't do it, right? You still love him. I know sometimes when we don't get what we want, we begin to have this bitterness in our heart against our mates because they should be, right? They should be doing things the way that we want them to do it. But we can't operate like that. The only thing that does is it builds a wall between you and him because he will become defensive, and you don't want that. That's the last thing that you want. So you just love him through. No matter how long it takes, you love him. Listen, you chose him, right? You didn't have to marry that man, but you did. You chose him. And so you kind of have to take him as he comes. But just because he's not operating in that role does not mean that he's not a good man. All right? Because I'm sure there are a plethora of other areas that he is doing his thing in, okay? So you love him through, and you love him in the good times, you love him in the bad times, you love him when he messes up, and you love him when he goes champ, okay? Like, you love him through, and you let him know that you love him, and you show him that you love him. And if you have a problem in your heart against him because of that, then you need to pray about that so that God can take that bitterness out of your heart so that you don't start acting negatively towards your husband. And finally, know him. You know what your husband is capable of. You knew that when you first got married, he first, either he wasn't saved, either he's a babe in the faith, or he has no clue, right? Or he may even be intimidated by you because he sees you operating in that role. Because we know women that there are more women operating in ministry than there are men. And so, sometimes your husband or man may be intimidated by the woman that he's with because he sees that she's at like this level, and compared to him, he may feel like he's here. So your husband, if he's able, if he's not able. And if you don't know, right, you need to get to know. You need to talk through certain things so that you can really understand what are his insecurities. What does he feel inadequate in or about? Get to know more about why he's not doing it, instead of just assuming that he's not a good man, right? Operating in the role of a priest doesn't make him a good man, because he could not be operating in the role of a priest but still be a good man. So just get to know him. Just know your husband. Know what he's able to do. Know what he's not able to do. And when you know what his strengths are, then you can give him those roles. And whatever he's weak in, then you can operate in those roles, and eventually he begins to learn from you, okay? And as long as it takes, don't take it out on him, right? Just go to God and ask God. That's when you go back to the praying for him. Pray that God will tug on his heart and help him. And so I hope this encouraged you when you are patient, right? When you patiently wait. I truly believe the effective prayer of the righteous man availeth much. And so we are their covering. We need to be covering them, and wait and see what God will do. I'm confident in that. I am confident in this, that we will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That means while we are alive, okay? We're going to see our husbands operate in that role, okay? So I hope this video helped you. Please share with several wives that you may think may need this, or even women who are not even married, so they know what to expect and how to operate once they are married. We are in this together, and we will win our husbands. We will win this battle, okay? And I just want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, okay, click the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video, all right? Remember, there's only one you, so be the best you that you can be. Bye.